Hey, what's going on? It's a beautiful day today, and I'm excited to interview my boy Marlon Waynes for my next episode of Phantom Talk.
I'll get your real one.
But you know, we're doing Phantom Talk. Got something for you. We're gonna put it in a robe.
Yeah, make this sexy. Okay.
That's for you guys.
Okay. Did I put this shit on there? Yeah. Okay. Hope you got some air conditioning.
Put mine on too.
That's how you know I ain't got one. Because I grabbed it. Instead of letting it. So door open and door closed.
Just door closed if you hold it.
Oh, they ain't got the open one, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't got the open one.
We gotta create the technology for that, brother.
I've never been into like cars
No?
for some reason. I don't know why. I always figure I got one ass. So I was like, like right now, I just bought I went looking for a car and I was like, I went and I test drove. I've driven Range Rovers my whole like career, like
You're comfortable.
Range Rover. And then I test drove the Rolls Royce truck, which was amazing.
Oh, the color, yeah.
But it was like I got seasick because the front of the thing stays like this as you turn like a boat, and I was getting seasick. The best one I've tried, I bought a Tesla. It's the best car I've had. And
The SUV or the car?
the SUV, but it's A, fast as hell. B, if I'm over there and I want to summons my car to me, it comes to me. I'm on the freeway.
With no one in the car?
With no one in the car.
Get the hell out
like
of here.
Knight Rider. It drives itself. Like if I'm in traffic and I want to go to sleep before, like it will literally drive me. You put in where it's going to be, you put it on auto drive, it drives you to where you're going.
That's
you just got to like
nuts.
get on and off the freeway. But
That's crazy.
It's amazing. Are we leaving the little Asian dude?
Nah.
Or is he getting-
He's so Spanish.
Okay.
He's not Asian.
Oh, he's Spanish.
Yeah,
He got
I
an
get,
Asian
I
haircut.
get what you're saying.
Oh, shit.
Your hair is Asian.
Yeah, it's a little Tokyo Driftish.
Right?
Yeah.
And you think I'm playing? Tokyo Drift is. He do like he drive one of them souped up Civics. They be loud as shit on the freeway. What's that, cigars?
Yes, sir.
I just stopped smoking cigarettes because I was doing this movie. And when I did the movie, I would have 2 cigarettes a night because the character was a smoker and I didn't want to go to set and be nauseous. Because last time when I did Requiem and I did a smoker in a movie, I would leave set and I would throw up. So on this movie, every night I'd have 2 cigarettes and something to drink. And this way, when I went to set, I had a little drunk look about me. And when I had to smoke a bunch of cigarettes on set, it didn't make me throw up.
Wow.
But then I developed a smoking habit and had to literally learn to quit. A method, man, a method. This character is physically abusive to women, so I dated a couple bitches and started beating their ass, you know what I'm saying? I'm joking.
So the crazy thing is, I mean, how do you go from becoming these people in these roles and not losing yourself when it's time to jump back into your own body?
You lose yourself in the role. You don't. Sometimes you carry the characters with you, but you lose yourself in the role. But I'm so used to doing like comedy. For me, it's hard for me to get lost in a comedic role because I'm always writing in my head what's funny. But a drama, it's a little different for me.
I'm saying when you jump back into your own body when the role's over, you have a hard time jumping back into your own body.
On this movie, yeah. But most movies, this Requiem was hard. On dramas, it's hard. It's not as hard on comedies. Comedy, I played 7 characters in one movie, and it was easy to jump from one character to the other character to another character.
You gonna attach that to my balls? Wait. Okay, listen, I'm not lying. I'm having a baby. I don't have no baby no more. And Russell, well, he has so much TV left to watch. I do. I don't think he's seen anything after 1984. Television. Oh. So, what's your favorite show? The Rockford Files.
But when you're doing a drama, it's like, in comedy, everything is like instantaneous, right? So for example, when something in my life hurts me, immediately the comedian in me goes, what's funny about this? That's how comedy is written. What's funny about the worst thing that ever happened to me? When you're doing a drama, you're going into those emotions that you never let settle in your body when you think like a comedian. So when I was doing Respect with the Aretha Franklin story, it wasn't about what's funny. I had to sit with what hurt me that I could relate to with the character and start discovering pains that I did nothing but deflect. So that's what's different between drama and comedy. Drama, it's harder to get out of it because you're discovering the emotions that you subside as a comedian. Damn, that was articulate. Did he say that? I said that. What? And I said subside. That's got to be like a 500-point word. That's an SAT word.
Well, let's take these shades off because I want to be transparent with you. Right. I want to say,
people
C
think
gave me some advice that was along the lines of what you just shared. You told me not to allow to basically judge your reaction in the moment because God's giving you practice runs to what's really going to come, and you gotta make sure you succeed in those moments because that's your big shot.
Right.
So
people
see
think
it that way.
Kobe and Jordan and these guys are successful because the big games, they shot those shots and they made it. And it's all the other times that they shot that shot every day in the gym that nobody ever seen, that prepared them for that moment to be on the big stage to actually be able to maybe hit one of those shots. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is with emotions. That's what it is with life. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like you can't expect to be ready to be a good father if you don't practice being a good person, if you don't practice being a good husband, if you don't practice being a good friend. You always have an opportunity to be a better version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So practice that every day, and by the time you become a father, because the stakes get higher, by the time you become a father or a husband, you know, those are, like, to me, the highest stakes. And that's when you really will be able to show up. And with your business too, but, you know.
I learned that when you don't know that you don't know, you can't appreciate not knowing.
Right.
But when you know that you don't know, it is then you'll know enough to not need to know. Mm-hmm. Because I see what it could be. And so it is then you'll know how to react differently to what you do know. Because if you know something could happen, then why don't you just treat what is happening the same way that you would treat what could happen?
Err on the side of caution. Before you say things, before you do things, before you react, so you can't take that reaction back. So when you act in a spontaneous way, I think you can't take by learning the communication of speech class in college. You make sure that the receiver receives that message in the way that you meant it to be sent. Whether that's your loved one, whether that's your kids, you make sure that they receive the message properly and that there's no noise involved. When you argue or you're screaming, that's noise. If you're trying to make your point to somebody, you have to make it in a way that it's effective communication. So sometimes women, I've learned, like to argue in the moment. I often go, I'm not going to talk about it right now. I love you. Let's talk tomorrow. Why? Because if you force me to talk right now, I'm upset. And I may say something that's going to damage you or hurt you that I can't take back. And that you're going to carry for the rest of your life. Because I'm a comedian and we think dark. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to kiss you. I'm going to kiss the kids. I'm going to go, I love you. And then tomorrow I'm gonna call you and we'll have a conversation about what upset me today. Because now I get to think about what I'm gonna say and it's gonna be constructive instead of deconstructive. And so sometimes it's okay to take a pause. Err on the side of caution. Don't err, because after the fact, you do things, it always happens to me, man. Whenever I don't think, it kills. All right, so I was at my son's game, and that's my son. I'm very passionate when it comes to sports, but I'm super passionate when it comes to my child.
He be balling.
And he's, that boy is nice.
Everywhere.
I swear, I don't think he's mine. I was never that good in anything. So he was getting fouled, and the refs wasn't calling the fouls. And I got so mad that I got on the court and I cursed the referees out because I got caught up in the moment. And then I was so caught up in the moment that after I cursed them out, I went back over there through the court and threatened them some more. And then I looked up and I seen everybody in the audience had their cell phones out. And in that moment, I said, I fucked up. If I would have just not reacted, I wouldn't be on TMZ right now. But you learn that sometimes I learned a valuable lesson for myself.
Yeah.
When I feel those things, I'm gonna go for a walk. Because it never turns out right. Never. Road rage, I see how it happens. Get calm, because you don't know if that person in the car got a gun. And you can't take back that moment.
I never shared this to anyone. I used to bodybuild back in the day. And,
no. Get out of here. You're skinny ass. Get out of here.
And I reached my...
Lies, Captain. You heard what he said? He said he used to bodybuild. Oh, skinny ass, man. Now, I used to bodybuild. Look, I was just
So my goal was to, 26-inch waist, 225, this body I dreamed of. And the worst thing that happened was I achieved it. After I achieved it, I got depressed for two reasons. The first reason, I had no new goals. That was something that was my dream. Then it actually happened. And then when I went to compete for the #1 body in the world, I went to use the restroom before I stepped on stage. The judges tell me, hey, what's your number? Hey, join this crew. I know you work. I know you train yourself. I know you have your own company. I know you have your own brand, your own likeness. Join this crew, and we'll work your way up. And he said, because you could get 16th place. And I just walked away. I got 16th place because I walked away. And I was depressed for 7 months. I couldn't get out of bed, crying every day. God, why? That's when I learned there was a system. That's when I learned about politics. I didn't know. That's when I say we don't know, you can't appreciate not knowing, because I was living in bliss because I was going off a straight motivation. Man, I got talent, I got ability, I got strength. Oh, it's not even about strength and talent and ability. This is about learning how to play the game. So at one point do you play the game? At what point do you stay true to yourself and just say, how do you get out of that depression? I had to discover who I was all over again. I had to, I was an incubator, I was premature, all these things. I had to say, that's my story, I'm a fighter. I had to remind myself who I was. I had to look at baby pictures. So have you ever been in that situation in your own art? And how did you get out of it?
It's weird, right? For me, depression is not something I've ever been for more than a moment. Because I realized instantly, I'm like my dad's child, right? I don't let negativity sit in me too long. It comes, and in the moment, I think about what it is. I take the food of it, and then I shit out what's bad. that is life. Life is food for me. So there is nothing that's going to stay in me and stain me, because I know that this is momentary. I know that this feeling I'm having, I know that success is a bunch of failures, and then one day you put all those lessons together and you become successful. So for me, I also understand that there is politics in this game, right? But I also know that there's patience in this game, and I also know that in life, God has it to where we're all snowflakes. Everybody's journey is different. And you can't be so hard on yourself, because what you may think is failure is actually success, or one of the building blocks to success. You know, I'm not a biblical person. I don't go to church. I'm not a religious person, but I am very tethered to God. And I'll say God so much. And my dad, who's Joe Witness, is like, you use that word a lot. Do you know what that means? I said, yes, I do. Because I understand the journey. I understand the purpose. I understand the whispers. I understand that I have a calm in me, that I know that everything is meant to happen for a reason. I don't want anybody else's career. I want my career. And you know what my career is? Me consistently moving forward. And me moving forward toward whatever I'm working toward is what's defining me for my career. I don't want what anybody else has. If I don't get something, and this is crazy, when I didn't get Batman, right? I got Batman. Immediately, when they told me that the role was going to somebody else, I got hurt. I said, okay. I picked up my computer and I started writing scripts.
What's Batman?
This was Batman 25 years ago, Batman Forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so me and my brother, we created our own television show. We wrote Don't Be a Menace. We started writing movies. The fact that I didn't get that role, or God took me out that position, is a blessing, because it made me take the long road. If I didn't do that, if that movie happened, then I become one of these young Hollywood stars that make it straight out of high school and he blows up. No, that's not the journey that God wanted for me. I was supposed to take the long way, and from that,
did you see that then though? Because
I saw it then.
You saw it then.
I saw it then.
Wow, I wouldn't expect you to see it.
As a young man, I saw it. I would never never would have created my own television show at 19. I never would have created and written and produced and starred in 15 movies over the course of my career. I never understood what it was like to write a movie, to understand this journey from a different perspective than just being a star, to understand the business of it, to understand the creative process, the ins and outs.
Is that because you have older brothers and older sisters than everyone else that has gone that route, and and they're successful?
Some of it.
What do you say to the Marlon that lives in inner city of Chicago that don't have brothers and sisters that's trying to do what you're trying to do?
I wouldn't say nothing to him because he was in New York. But no, I hear what you're saying. I have been blessed by I'm the baby of 10. So my brothers' triumphs and their failures were all lessons for me before I even started doing it. But even with that said, that's their journey. When it starts happening to you, that's when you know, this is when you know what you're made of. Because now, okay, for example, it's just how I'm wired. Richard Pryor movie, I didn't get it, right? I got it, and then they moved on, and they were gonna do somebody else.
You was perfect.
I thought so too, but they didn't. But this movie's still not done. But with that said, I didn't cry. I wasn't hurt. When the hurt came in, let me change that. It hurt. But immediately when it hurt, I chewed it. I understood what it was, and I said, all right, I'm grateful for this moment. Find something to be grateful about. I'm grateful that my hero, Richard Pryor, made me start doing stand-up comedy, because that's the only way that I could play that role, is for me to become a great stand-up comedian and to take it seriously. But I was afraid to do comedy for years, but the actor in me, the method actor in me, started doing stand-up so I could do that role. And then what happened was they wound up not using me for the role, and I immediately said, thank you, God, because I started out wanting to play a great, and now I want to be a great.
Woo!
So I'm on stage every weekend doing what I have to do to become the legend that I'm going to become, my own legend. And one day there's going to be some kid that will understand my journey and want to do the Marlon Wayans story. Not to say that I love Richard Pryor to death, but see, everything that happens in your life, it's supposed to happen, and you have to be thankful to God for the lessons in that moment. There's a reason why this happened. Thank you, God. Oh, thank you. I had an assistant steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from him. It happened. Immediately when it happens, I said, thank you, God. Thank you for the lesson. I learned about trust. I learned about people. I learned about, life. And it at this level. And I'm not mad at it. Yeah, I could be rolling in one of these right here. But you know what? It's God.
I started to, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I was gonna say I could. I could have said, well, it's easy for you to say it because you have many more hundreds of thousands of dollars. But to answer that, you wouldn't be in that position without that mindset, so I can't say that.
Right.
You wouldn't be there without having that mindset when you had nothing.
I instantly pray, have compassion and forgive. Instantly. I'm not, because here's the thing, I make that money. I know how to make that money. Mm-hmm. That person doesn't know how to make that money. So you can live a high life, but that high life lasts as long as you were stealing.
That's right.
Now what's life like? Because once you come up and you come down and you realize that, I was living in a fantasy. Mm-hmm. Now life gets really hard because you're used to something. That's going to be your hell, not mine.
And to be clear, the way that you make the money is your mentality and your approach toward life. That's how you make the money.
Yeah.
So
and I was teaching you could have learned how to do this. But that's on you. That's not on me. And once again, I throw you in my prayer. I have no problem with it. I throw you in my prayer and I wish you the best. But I know that it's gonna be a tough one for you. So once again, always thank God in your worst moment, understanding that there's a reason why you're there. What's the lesson? The sooner you get to the lesson, that's the jewel. Mm-hmm. The jewel is the lesson. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this is why this happened. And that goes with everything in your life. So it all comes, even when it's not about you, it's about you. So bring it back to you. What is God trying to teach you right now?
To add on to what you just said, the best parts of me getting my body to that point when I did it, it was trying to get there.
Right.
It wasn't being there.
Right.
Not buying the Ferrari, it's trying to save up to get it. It's not the lifestyle I have now, the idea that I would have it one day.
It's funny because I often don't treat myself to things that I want because I always want to feel like I'm working toward it.
Ooh, I love that.
As much as I want these things, I always go, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And once I reach that goal of getting there, I always go, what's after that? Because to peak, that can be a come down. But to peak and then go, look at the top of the hill, look down and go, I can't believe I did that. What's next? What's the bigger mountain? What am I doing next? We always have to give ourselves new goals. When you do that, like I've been doing this 30 years and I've never been the hot guy. So I've never had a hot moment. I've never been that dude. Everybody gets to be that dude. I have never been that dude. But I've been here 30 years working toward becoming that dude. And one day I see it. That dude's coming. The dude that gets the best scripts, works with the best directors, and works with the best producers, with the biggest budgets, and those movies are guaranteed success, and I bring my great performance to it. That dude I had to work for 30 years to become, and now I see it in the horizon, and I'm really proud of what's happening.
You evolved into the person that you wanted to evolve, and everybody, whoever was telling you not to do that, you said, no, I'm gonna do it my way. And so now you evolved into you. But
right.
Otherwise you would have evolved into the narrative of the other people's perspective, and you would be a different person. So
right.
when your moments come, it would be a moment of somebody else created.
Yeah, manufactured moment
instead of you. You stay true to yourself.
Yeah. And I often feel like I said, there's no mistakes as long as you're working toward it. Everything that I do, I'm happy I did, and I did it at a time when I was supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. But you also mature, and there's nothing wrong with going, okay, that was then. Now this time in my life, do I want to do that? Mm-hmm. But back then, absolutely. And it depends. I may want to go do something wild and crazy again. And not to say, because I'm very in the moment, yo, you know, it'd be funny. I'm crazy like that, and then I get passionate about it. So for me, as the expression of an artist, is you just gotta paint. This is what I am, and right now, when it comes to stages, movies, I'm doing it all. I got 2 dramas coming out. I got 2 great dramas. One with Sophia Coppola directed, with Bill Murray and Rashida Jones. It's a dramedy called On the Rocks that comes out in August or September. And then I have the Aretha Franklin biopic, Respect, with Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, and myself. And I play her first husband, Ted White. And it's a juicy, beautiful movie that, you know, it's an incredible movie. And you know, and then I'm probably gonna do a buddy action comedy later on this year as I'm working on my tour for my stand-up, and I'm gonna do a special on my next show. So I have so much that I'm doing this year, which all that's comedy, but I still do drama. I do it all. What I want to be known for, I want to be the guy that's credible doing it all. I'm gonna follow him all in the comedies. I'm gonna follow him in stand-up. I'm gonna follow him in this drama. Why? Because he gives credible performance in every one of these things, and I'm just an all-around fan, and he always gives me a great performance.
Man, that's why God's blessing you with so much, because, you know, I always say God's gonna give me more because I'm utilizing, there's space for it because I'm utilizing everything that I've got. So there's space for him giving me more. And I think that's what it sounds like. That's one of your life missions, is to give everything you got with what you have.
Yep.
So there's space for more.
And stay a student. Like, even what you have, it's not about what you, because yeah, we all have gifts and things, but you know what the true gift is? Learning. You can always learn something new. I keep on starting different careers. I did it when I first came. I was an actor. Then I learned to write movies. Then I learned to produce movies. Then I directed. And then I learned to do stand-up. My whole career is ass backward. Like, you're supposed to do stand-up first. I started stand-up 8 years ago. And it's weird, but I'm at this point where it's all starting to make sense. I could tell in
your comedy that it felt like stand-up. It felt like it was just raw.
It was raw. It was raw. So especially when I was younger, I was going straight off instinct.
The Wayans brothers was raw.
Right. It was all instinct. I didn't have stand-up. My brother Sean was a technician. I was all instinct. I didn't know what it was like to be in front of an audience and whether a joke was gonna be funny or not. I didn't have that.
Really?
No, it was just, that was all instinct. Now, it's technique. I understand, before I say the joke, that's gonna offend these people in Ohio. No, if I say that joke, a black woman over 65 is gonna be upset by that. Like, before I do it, and this happens within like a 3-second time period. Say it. How do I say this joke so that everybody's gonna laugh at it? And that takes technique. That takes being on a stage and doing 6 to 8 shows every weekend. That takes getting on a stage 4 days a week, 3 times a night for 20 years so that you could get nice enough to understand that you have an audience in your head now. But back on Wayans Brothers, I was raw. Mo Money, raw. That was just somebody straight out the room, straight out of Performing Arts High School. That was just raw. Like, I have this funny instinct.
I think that's where your confidence came from. Because I was thinking about the light. Lately, I've had moments where I've just felt, you know, my operations manager said, hey, you've been walking with your shoulders down. What's been going on? Your energy's different. And I had to check myself. I said, whoa, I lost my confidence. Stemming from, because my next question was going to be, what's the difference between you said I'm still trying to make my break versus saying I'm the shit? Because I had to start looking at myself in the mirror and say, yo, I'm the shit. And once I started saying it to myself again, I went walking and I walked with the light. I realized that you realized the light you had a long time ago. But when you walk in the light, you know that I don't have to say a joke this way, or I don't have to ask Marlon for this thing because he might think that I'm an opportunist. Good people always get discouraged about being perceived wrong. People with good hearts. But when you learn that your light will go ahead of you, you know, the spirit of the purity of your spirit, you just operate, and then the world will get what it need to get.
I never second guess it, and I never feel like I'm always, you know, one of my biggest problems is my humility. I'm my father's child.
Mine too.
And my mother's son. My mother filled me with confidence, My dad kept my feet on the ground. So it's always about the work. It's not about the party. I don't care about the celebration or the trophy. I don't care about that one night with the champagne, popping bottle.
You told Kobe get out the club.
I told Kobe get out the club, and he left. And you know what?
He ain't been back.
He ain't been back. And look at the legend that he became. He loved the everyday work. Every game was a championship game to him. Every quarter
How do you get
was
your
the final
mind
shot.
to see the world that way, bro?
It's just how you are.
How do you train your mind to do that? People want to know that.
It's how I just was since I was a kid. It's just always who I've been. I've always been a hard worker. I've always wanted to put smiles on people's faces. I always was the first one in, the last one out. When I worked at sneaker stores, everything I've ever done, I've always tried to be the best employee I could.
That makes people uncomfortable, I know.
It's
People are
weird.
close to you.
My brother used to tell me, I got my brother a job at Athlete's Foot, and my brother Sean said, you better stop working so hard. You're making us look bad. Now go downstairs and get this custom with my sneakers. But yes, man, it's just who I am. It's how I am wired, and I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for it. I wouldn't change it. That's why I don't have a lot of moments, depressed moments. I don't have a lot of moments where I second guess myself, because I'm so busy doing that I don't even get to see the results. I don't give myself time to think about what I'm doing. I just do it. I just go. Let's go. Chop, chop, let's go. What's next? I just finished this movie. All right, we got 200 pages on this script. All right, we're gonna chop this down to 125. And while we do that, y'all want to meet with those two writers about my next television show. Let's make this deal for this next movie. For this special. I already know what the special is. I got it ready. I want to film this before we film the next movie. Like, I just stay busy, and it's not that. My daughter said to me, she goes, nigga, is the mob after you? Do you owe the mob money? She's like, why do you work so hard? And I was like, you like college? You like the scholarship that you have, the daddy scholarship? Let me work. She goes, touche. All right. But this is, even if I don't do it for money, I do it for love. I do it for the art. I do it because this is what God put me here to do. I'm here to make people smile.
But
That's my legacy.
You have to shut off that pain part of your brain, so to be able to operate that way. Did that affect you in your marriage, in your relationship when you were married?
No, I think
because the sensitivity button might be broke
sometimes. I think there'd be times Angie be like, "Nigga, did you hear what you just said?" Because I'm always, or she'll go, "Not everything is funny," and I go, "No, not everything may be funny in this moment." But I'm gonna holler at you in 2 weeks about this shit, and you gonna laugh. I'm a joyful person, so when you're around me, you smile, you laugh, you have a good time. In our worst moments, me and my family, we be at funerals, and we all sitting there looking for jokes. Nigga, we all start looking for jokes, and then you'll see the Wayans boys in the back of the funeral. And it looked like we crying, but we laughing because we found the jokes. And it's just the beauty of my family, man. It's like, I think that's the greatest gift God ever gave us, was our sense of humor and the hard work ethic.
And you make it your effort to put a smile on people's face.
Absolutely. I love making people smile. I love seeing people happy.
That's beautiful.
That's all. But it feels, because people think the gift is in receiving. No, the gift is in the feeling that God gives you for giving. That feeling of, oh, I made that person smile. That's God's gift to you for giving. And that's something, that's why they say giving is better than receiving, because it absolutely is. I don't care about, there's nothing nobody can buy me that's going to really impress me.
I tell you what, you're blessing a lot of households. I watched Marlon. I watched your first and your second season. I watched it all the way through.
Thank you.
One sitting. I brought my wife.
And then they canceled it. Yeah. But here's the thing, right? They always cancel the great ones. That was a great show. I'm the best thing in the world is to be proud. It makes you think when you watch it. Every episode makes you think. I can tell you every single one of your episodes, because it affected my imagination to help me put that in my life's perspective. Oh wow, I dealt with that. Oh wow, when they had the monkey
outfit,
Yeah.
you know, or this,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the one when you died, fake
Yeah,
died,
yeah.
and then
And you feel unappreciated.
Yeah, give people their roses while they're there.
Yes.
I can tell you every single one, and I
Thank
said,
you.
wow, he's doing this on purpose.
Yeah, every episode, and that was from my heart. But once again, I could be, when they canceled it, I could be depressed, or I could be inspired. And once again, I always go back to, I'm thankful to God for allowing me to do that. But I also see that He wants me to dig deeper, and He wants me to do something even better than those 20 episodes I did.
So what did that evoke? What did that produce?
My next TV show is a single camera, half-hour comedy about my life now.
My dog.
And it's Marlon, but a little classier. And it's Marlon, but a little bit more intellectual. It's a little bit more introspective. Have a little bit more drama in it. And it's gonna be just as funny or even funnier.
Is some of the same cast members?
Probably, yeah. And so, but this is what God has in store for me. I can't question when God shuts a door, He does it on purpose. So why are you sitting there looking at that door like a dog looks at a tennis ball? No, that door is closed. What else is going on? What is God? You see that door right there? If I was staring at this one being closed, I wouldn't see that one that's being open.
right.
And I see it. I know I have a better show in me. And as good as that one is, I know my next one's gonna be better.
And what's making it so great for you is you use a hat to block the sun, but you're not trying to use that same hat to block the rain.
Right.
You put the hat up and put up an umbrella. You're
Right.
realizing when I switch gears, I got to use a different car
Right.
to switch a gear in, because I can't use the same tools that I use to get me where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that I had to learn. I was trying to use the same work
you
ethic.
gotta- and
I
you
gotta
gotta
work
learn.
differently. They call it work smarter, but I call it just use different tools.
You have to. And you have to get better. You have to improve. And if you keep doing the same thing at the same level, sometimes slowing it down is actually working a different gear for you. Sometimes you ain't got to work. Sometimes slowing it down and going uphill. It's like being in the gym, looking at like, okay, if I want hamstrings, I got to do the same kind of actions that I did for thighs, but different. I gotta, you know what I mean? If I want a bigger chest, you know, and a smaller back, then I gotta do different things. And it's the same thing with a career.
Yeah.
You have to do different things and work different muscles. Sometimes it's fast twitch muscles, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's slow twitch muscles. But if you really want to be diesel, all the way around diesel in your career, you have to allow yourself to use and engage different techniques and different even mental muscles. You have to.
What do you do to work on your mental muscles? Do you read books
Read a lot.
every day,
I
or
read.
you have a morning routine,
I write.
regimen?
I write. I don't have a regimen. I wish I did. My life is too scattered to have a regimen.
But your brain is so crazy fast. How do you manage that?
I don't know.
Because the thoughts.
I don't know.
I know I'm a
It's-
mind person too.
I don't question myself.
I don't smoke weed. I never smoked weed.
You know why I didn't smoke weed? Because it'd be a cheat for me. It would be a cheat. If I smoke weed, I've smoked weed before. And I've been so funny high that I had to put the blunt down and go, I ain't fucking with that. I'm not gonna do that because it would be a cheat. Now I'm relying on a substance to be funny. I don't know. I want to open these doors in my mind sober. I always write sober. I write my movies sober. Everything I do, sober. If I want a vacation from this world, I'll have some drinks. I'll take a hit of a blunt if it's social and I'm with Dave Chappelle. And I'm just like, fuck it, Dave. Come on. I'll hit that shit. I'll do it. But for the most part, that's just not what I do because I feel like I'm cheating. I'm cheating myself. It's messing with my brain. I like my brain to operate at a very high pace, and I don't want my spirit to be affected by it. I do 21-day cleanses. Well, I don't drink nothing. I don't have no sugar, no dairy, no wheat, no gluten, no red meat, no sugar, no drinks, no nothing. I'm just completely healthy. That's when I'm in my zone, and that's the closest I am to God is when I'm sober and I'm creative. Sometimes I'll be on stage, and you know who whispers jokes to me? God. No, you should say this. That's where inspiration comes
It's almost like that movie Chris Rock had.
from. With
when the guy changed places with the other
I know
guys.
what you're talking about. Heaven Can Wait. Yeah. But it is kind of like that. It's like, you know, you get these whispers. I'll be in the shower. I don't know what movie ideas come from. I'll just be in the shower, I'll be washing. I'll be, oh, you know, it'd be funny. Yo, Siri, write this note. And I'll come up with the idea, and Siri will write the note, and then I'll call my producing partner, like, yo, I thought of a really, you're gonna think this is crazy. And I'll just pitch him this idea. He goes, oh, every time you say this is crazy, it's usually a really great idea. And so inspiration always happens. You just have to know when it happens to write it down and then expound upon it. But my whole career is inspiration. Jokes, I don't sit down and go, let me write some jokes today. I don't do that. No, I just live.
So you don't
by
do
it.
a certain thing? For me, I get on the treadmill and I walk. I get the blood flow going.
Yeah,
and then
that works for me too.
I do that every single morning at 5 a.m.
Yes.
And
I don't have a 5 a.m. I do it once a day. I do it 6 days a week.
Oh,
I'm in the gym.
First thing you do in the morning?
Well, yeah.
Whenever you get up.
Whenever I get up, first thing I do. I don't even eat. I make it a point not to eat until I work out.
Why?
Normally, like
Did
today.
you give to yourself?
Yeah. Well, because I just feel like I want to burn off everything from yesterday before I take and ingest anything from today. I need to burn off everything from yesterday, and now I'll start my day.
Mentally or physically, or both?
Both. I love sweating. I love the detox of that hour and a half workout. I love the treadmill. I don't like doing long runs. I do a nice 15-minute walk, another 15-minute sprint, and then I start working out, got my headphones in, or sometimes I won't have headphones in, and I'll be like, oh, wow. And then jokes start coming to me, or movie ideas come to me, or I'll be watching something. I'm inspired by everything around me. I swear to God, everything around me. I just...
Because you're looking for it, I think.
I'll get my tentacles out. You're a writer, and when you're a writer, everything is inspiration.
So you live in a different world than most people. That's what I hear. And that's your message probably to those who are living in, troubled areas. Just, I always say, don't live for the moment, live for moments. And whatever moments that you want to experience, that you like, search for those moments instead of allowing life to hit you when you're trying to have one great moment and say, life give me moments like that every day. No, search for the ones that you want.
Yes.
And that's what I hear you saying.
Yes. I live in the moment. I remember the great moments. I shit out the bad. Everything is supposed to happen for a reason, and for me, I think it's not about this one big moment that we're all working toward. It's about all the little moments that happen that we don't appreciate, working toward that big moment that we're all looking for. I always say success is not a destination. Success is the road that we travel every day trying to be successful. That is success. Because you may never reach your destination that's success.
You shouldn't. If you did,
If you
your
did,
goal
then
wasn't long enough.
right? Successful. Success is the work that you do, and in one day, I don't think Kobe was like, I'm gonna win 5 rings. No. He just worked as hard as he could every day. Jordan, I don't think he was like, I'm gonna get 6 rings and retire and then own a basketball team. No. He just found a passion, and he said, I'm just gonna get as great as I can get every day in this game and get better. I look at it as the Jordan, right? We want success, always look at Jordan. Because what Jordan did well was he worked off a passion, he worked off a strength. The boy could jump out the gym. But in order to get what he got, if you look at his journey, the man got better in everything. It wasn't just he used the threat of the dunk to start shooting wide open jump shots. Once they started closing in on the wide open jump shots, he started, and triple teaming them, he started passing the ball and his assist numbers went up. Then when he went to dunk and they would guard the basket, he'd go around the other side with the left hand. He got better with the left hand. And then when they tried to get him, they knew he had that fadeaway jump shot. They knew he had the set shot. They knew he had the dunk. Now they're going to play off him on the 3. And he shoots 8 3-pointers in one game. And then he knows they're going to foul him. So instead of being like a 70% free throw shooter, he got to become an 88% free throw shooter. The man just got better. And then he started putting the team around him. I'm going to take less money because I want to make sure Scotty's getting paid. We need Dennis Rodman. Let's get him in here. I'm not going to beef with Dennis. I know what Dennis got to do. And we're going to make this a home for Dennis. Jordan is a master at greatness because what he did was he was humble enough to always get better.
I think Kobe was the same way too.
Yes.
But I can't lie. It might have did the same for you. It scared the hell out of me, man. It hit me hard when he passed. And then
it was grown people crying about.
It made me question my own life. It made, because I'm looking at, you know, his life. I identify with his mentality.
Yeah.
And you go, wow. So for a second I said, is it really worth it to work that hard the way I work, which is similar to the way he works. But then I said, well, damn, he wouldn't have been him if he didn't have that mentality.
But his legacy is all in hindsight, right? You look back at the man's work ethic, the mama mentality, and he worked his ass off. There was a thing about him and Allen Iverson, huh?
He didn't get a chance to see the other side of it. Didn't that make you say, wait a minute?
No, he did. You know, he retired. He got to spend time with his wife and his children and his girls, and you know, he passed going to his daughter's game to go help her be great. You know, his legacy is exactly what he worked it to be. The man is an incredibly hard worker, a visionary, a relentless assassin on the court, and a relentlessly hard worker that said, he would have to dare to say, I'm gonna be better than Jordan. You have to allow yourself that kind of fuck it mentality.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the
even
things,
in humility to go, I'm gonna be better.
You said we aligned, because I was gonna say to you, I said I hope he can receive it. I was gonna say, from a friend to you, the only thing I would say to you is, I feel in my heart to tell you that lose a little bit of the humility, or just become a little bit arrogant.
I keep my arrogance wrapped inside of my humility, because there's a little motherfucker in there that goes, I'm gonna be the greatest motherfucker.
Oh, so it's there, okay.
Oh, my nigga. But I just wrap it in my humility. I don't let it come out. I'm not gonna say
I see what you're saying.
publicly, but for my own fire. Fuck yeah, I want to be the greatest.
I see what you're
Fuck
saying.
yeah, I want to work my ass off. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do things, unimaginable things in this fucking lifetime. I'm gonna do great shit.
So people don't really know.
They have no idea. And now's my years to show them. But when you look back on my career, they're gonna look back and go, this nigga's been doing it for 30 years.
That's why I have this tattoo. It's Clark Kent.
Exactly.
It's a super. It's a
exactly.
It's
the same strong. Yeah, I'm strong. I ain't gotta say I'm strong. I ain't gotta say I'm Superman. I ain't gotta say, hey, look at me, I'm Clark Kent playing Superman. No. That's exactly me. I wrap my confidence in my humility. Yeah. See, but I would never. I'm just like.
With my dad, when he passed, that was our thing. Superman. He always saw me as, you know, a super. You know, the super Freeman of us all. He saw me living the life that he thought God put for him, and he said that since it didn't happen to me, I'm gonna give you all the tools, and I'm living through him.
Good.
So.
And you see it.
That was the thing.
Yeah. That's dope. Like, people don't understand the importance of a father. I think me and my brothers are successful not because it's just my mom's love, because of my father's presence, because of my father's love, my father's hard work, my father's tireless work ethic is what we inherited, along with the gift of my mom's great comedy and her loving abilities. And that's the combination of what me and my brothers are, and my sisters and my family.
Wow.
And really, like, I think I liked when you talk about your dad, because greatness comes from somewhere. I feel bad for the little boys that gotta try and figure it out for themselves, and that's why I go back to the hood sometimes and I give the talks. Or the flyest thing I ever did was I took a couple $100,000 and I rebuilt the gym in my old neighborhood.
That's dope.
That was the flyest thing I ever did.
That
was a day I felt successful. I never felt successful until that day. And I'll talk about a gift. The feeling that I got watching those kids play in that gym that I grew up in, that needed to be rebuilt, that warmed my heart, man. That made me, I got this tingle inside that only God could give you by you giving great gifts to other people.
Wow.
And went back to Kobe. His death, it's funny, I know he's up there looking down going, I didn't know they love me like that. It's hard to give people their flowers while they're here. And I don't know why. Because do you really want to be celebrated like that while you're here? or they just want to do the work, and legacy happens when you're gone, and they look back and go, wow.
So you prefer not to get all that?
I don't think I'll ever get my flowers while I'm here. It's okay.
But you don't want them, like at that capacity.
I don't look for them. Because if I get my flowers, then
you're cool. You on top of
yeah, I don't want to ever get there. I'm just working my ass off to get the things that I'm gonna get, and it's coming. I've learned for 30 years. Now my next 30 years is executing all that I've learned.
Well, to common folk, it's not coming.
It's coming. I'm nowhere close to it.
So when people say, Marlon, I love you, the greatest, it goes wah, 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 wah.
Not yet. It's coming.
To me, when people used to tell me how great my career path is going, it used to discourage me because that meant that they didn't really know who the person they was looking at back in my early 20s. So you don't know me. I always said it to myself. Thank you, I appreciate that. I had to learn how to take it and understand that they're trying to give me some positive words.
Yeah, they're trying to give you love, but you know, I got so much more to give. You wait. Like this year, people's minds are gonna be blown. Like, yo, that was Marlon.
I used to paint a new narrative. I used to say, if you come up to give me some love, I would say, oh man, I'm trying to work on this, they stop me. I would always give negative information what I'm trying to do to paint that narrative so they wouldn't give me the love. I would rather you encourage me on what I'm trying to do than to encourage me saying what I am doing.
Right. And Kobe taught me something, love the haters.
Explain that.
Love the haters. He said, love the haters, because those are the people that make you better. Everybody that ever denies you, those are the people that make you go to the gym. Those are the people that make you get up and work out. Those are the people that make you, because most of what we do is off of love.
There's people like
but
my
when you
wife
can
that
burn
don't,
hate,
what about people?
It's beautiful.
But what about the people like my wife who don't see it? She don't see the hate. She's blessed. She sees.
She's wired off love. Some people are wired off love.
So what do they do to be able to spark that? What's your advice to that?
That I wouldn't change that because that's a beautiful quality. But I would say that for you, when you get in your tank, have that reserve of fuel. When you stop burning off love, tap into that hate and turn that fuel into love and into success. Because you have both tanks. People are wired differently. Some people are just wired off love, and that's what you fly off of. Go for it. That's your gasoline. But me, I got one of them hybrid diesel cars. Like, yeah, I work off unleaded fuel, but I put some diesel in there. That hate, nigga. Oh, it's not a lot.
Look for it.
It's not a lot. Come.
That's why on Instagram they say.
You think I'm funny?
They say I show you love all the time, but the moment I say something negative, now you see it.
Oh yeah. I see it, motherfucker. Thank you. And I remember that shit too. Yeah. I remember that because sometimes that I'm always getting love. Sometimes that hate just that make you click. Like, okay, all right, motherfucker, I don't show that one motherfucker, and that's okay because that's the way I'm wired. I'm gonna make you love me. You gonna love me. You gonna eat those words. You on the wrong side of my history.
Woo! I love that. You're on the wrong side of my history.
This is simple.
If you was in a room and you had to do a roast with one of your siblings, which one would you not want to be in a room with? Outside, you can't say yourself.
If we're roasting against each other, they're all so funny. I'm the dead one. I'm glad he's gone because I'll roast him. He's the only one I could roast. But Sean, Damon, and Keenan, in a roast, none of them. Sean, people underestimate how funny Sean is. Sean is incredibly funny and witty and smart. He's got my mother's gene. Like, Sean will look at you and all these jokes just hit him. People sleep on him because he's a pretty boy. You know what I'm saying? They don't mess with me because they go, oh, that little skinny, funny looking dude, he got to have jokes. Sean, that's the wrong one to mess with. Damon funny too, but Keenan,
I don't know. And y'all been funny y'all whole life.
Yeah, we have them.
And famous. I don't know how you still be a normal guy. You still seem, most people who they've been popular that long, they don't have that same type of even kill spirit. I mean, I don't know what.
Fame is it's like all perspective of yourself. I don't feel famous. I feel like I'm blessed to do comedy for a living. Sometimes when I get too much attention, I start feeling weird. Like, thank you. I don't know if I deserve that.
No, even you still feel that.
Yeah, I feel like doctors and nurses and firemen and policemen, those are heroes. I feel like they should be the famous ones. And famous people should just be like famous people, but those are the heroes. Like I'm not gonna change your life. I'm just gonna change your mood.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I want to ask you a question. So, what's the mark you want to leave on the earth? What's that one thing you want to make sure happens with your purpose and with your presence in life?
I'm working toward this. The reason why people are like, why you work so hard when you did the Marlon show? Like, why every moment was you trying to be funny? And I said, because when I am gone, the only thing I've left behind is smiles. And every time they see Marlon or me on that TV show, I want it to be like I Love Lucy. I want it to be like, you know, one of those great shows that you look back on it, and 100 years from now, people are still smiling and still laughing. And that goes from every movie I ever do, every performance I ever give, every interview I ever give, everything I ever do. I always want there to be left behind some nugget of something positive that will make you smile or affect your life in a way that goes, because if you're thinking about me in those moments, if I'm making you laugh, then when I'm gone, I'm still living. And that's legacy.
Wow. Well, you all heard it. We got my brother Marlon Waynes, Phantom Talk.
Yeah.
We're doing a thing, and so Marlon has
This is way better than Hyundai Talk.
And Marlon actually has 60 seconds. He doesn't know I'm gonna do this. I'm afraid that I'm doing this to myself.
No, I'm not.
So Marlon has 60 seconds to roast me.
No, I won't.
Because he has pubes on his
I
head.
can't. I won't do that. I won't.
And
do that. I won't.
I'm not good at this.
Roast you. I'm not gonna do that.
You know, he checking me out.
Both our beards are made of ass hairs, and I'm just not gonna do it. I don't shoot at friends. My mom and dad, they always told me, watch your tongue, son. No, I don't want to lose friends. I'm not even looking at you. You know why? Because if I was looking at you, then I'd start breaking you down, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not.
I got this, kid.
I'm not gonna do it. Love, I'm not gonna do it.
I wish I was good. I wish I was good at it on this level.
And your girl gonna get mad. She gonna be crying. She gonna look at you funny. She gonna look at you different, nigga. So I love it. I ain't gonna do it. Can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. Can't. I don't swipe at friends. I've learned. Wow. One day we'll be out. I'll be drinking.
Because I heard you talk about Victor Cruz, and I was crying.
Like,
I had tears in my eyes.
About who?
Victor Cruz.
Oh, shit.
I had tears in my eyes.
But once again, you know why I don't do it? Me and Victor Cruz, he did it. You talking to me? This nigga stopped snapping. 3 hours later, I'm still going. Yeah, mother. And I got dark. I got so dark. And I started talking about his early retirement. I said, what do you do now for a living? It got so dark. Like, look, nigga, it like hours. Like at a point, he was like, yo, I said, no, nigga, don't start me up in this shit. I'll come on your fucking football field and kick a ball in the air and go, hey, nigga, catch that knob. Don't fucking come in my thing.
You said the next day you woke up still.
No, I felt bad. I called, I tried to find Carucci's number. I felt bad. I had to hit him on the gram. I felt bad. I was like, I feel so bad because some of the things I was saying, because he was like, I'm an analyst on ESPN. I said, nigga, I turn the channel every time you talk. I don't give a fuck about you.
Oh my God.
It was so dark. I talked about his kid face. It went, listen, it wasn't, he just started out with like a little ha ha ha. 3 hours later, and I'm still going. He's like having conversations with other people. I'm still going. Like, this is not a game for me. That's why I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
I just want to be able to live that way. I have trouble just being unapologetic and not caring about.
No,
you it seems like you go all in.
I have a weapon. My mom and my dad told me I have a weapon, and I gotta watch it. I don't think Victor Cruz is ever gonna hang out with me again. I'm sorry, Victor. If you, I said so many bad things. But you see what you did? What you made me do is go, no, I'm not gonna roast friends no more. See, and I tried to do that night, but he had this little chunky monkey nigga with him that, oh, you think he's funny? And I just,
you did say that. Thank God he didn't roast me. I know he was watching.